Hello, everyone. Today is Sunday, May 11th, 2025 at 8:40 p.m. at night. Yeah, I don't think I did a video or a live stream at all earlier, but I did put at least a community post or something. So, well, I guess my phone data plan had been going on for 3 days, and um three, yeah, so I had already used close to 7 gigabytes of data already, you know. So it's hard trying to ration my phone data when the Wi-Fi is not working here. I just tried again, hoping it will work, and it just won't work. So I am very sleepy. As soon as I got on the video, I start to feel really sleepy. So I just got done eating dinner, and I'm in the dark because trying to ration my phone data. So thankfully I was able to sleep good last night. I think I woke up at 8 something, but I don't remember. And so I'm sorry, I'm so tired. But I think it was almost 9 o'clock when I went down to breakfast. And then excuse me, I had the usual. I guess when I'm here and I get breakfast, eggs, sausage, peanut butter packets, and milk, and the juice. I usually make the same choices, but the only thing switched out would be the so-called carbs, whether it be like the muffins or the cereal or the oatmeal. They had grits too, like instant grits, but they're plain. They're not flavored, so that's why I don't really get the instant grits. So I just rotate between the well, not really rotate, but sometimes I might choose the muffin, or I might choose the oatmeal, or I might choose the cereal. But on rare occasions I've had the big Texas cinnamon roll. But the plain bread and bagels, I usually don't get that. I like bagels, but um I just don't eat the bagels at the hotels, because I hate to have to use the toaster or the microwave or whatever and warm them up, you know. So I didn't have lunch. I someone helped me with a night of hotel. Thank you who did that. And then the I had I was able to get my laundry done. And I still feel gross and disgusting from I feel like my all my belongings are gross and disgusting from being in jail. You know, excuse me. So, um, I was able to make some progress with working on combing the knots and stuff out of my hair, but it's not completely detangled. and I was able to make a nice bit of progress. Excuse me. And I took a shower and stuff, you know. Oh yeah, I did say I did laundry. Um, Excuse me. Oh. I listened to um a few chapters in the Bible today. I was gonna work on some writing with a fiction short story, but I was so tired and I felt like, still psychologically, mentally, and emotionally recovering from the trauma from the jail, what just happened Friday. I don't know why I feel more traumatized this time than the jail incident back in January. You know, and fake Darnell he came in and harassed me on more than one YouTube account today. And I had to block. I screenshot his fake harassment and blocked him. Well, when he gets caught, he's gonna be sorry, and he thinks he's invincible and think he could get away with doing this forever. And then he tried to talking about. I mean, he tried to talk about that. Oh yeah, your ego wouldn't allow you to answer the cops' questions or something. He said, and then he was harassing me about my shoestrings with my new shoes and everything. And excuse me, never once did y'all hear me say something about that the shoes were good enough. I mean, that the shoes weren't good enough. You know, never once have y'all heard me say anything about that the shoes weren't good enough. You know, just because I said that my feet were hurting in the shoes, that wasn't me trying to say, oh, the shoes ain't good enough or that they're not expensive enough. But that's what the stalkers are lying and saying that I said. You know, excuse me. But you know how many times the police, fake Darnell, has sent the police to harass me in Orleans Parish in New Orleans downtown, and I have refused to give my name and stuff, and the cops, you know, after a while they leave me alone. But you know, how could they take you to jail just for failure to identify? Excuse me, even after you've been found innocent, after you've been found innocent of the crime that they falsely called, that the stalkers falsely called me for. The stalkers falsely called on me about, you know, after the stalkers found out that I was I'm sorry, after the cops found out that I was innocent of the crime that I was falsely accused of, they still wanted to insisted on taking me to jail, saying that I committed a crime for failure to identify. Because I was not guilty of breaking in or trying to break in. Why don't they look at the whole, I mean, whatever security, like, or just find who fake Darnell is and arrest him for, you know, for illegally swatting, you know? Excuse me. And more than one person says that fake Darnell is gonna get me, fake Darnisha is gonna get me seriously hurt or killed by the cops one day. And he admitted that's what he's hoping for, the cops to see. And the other stalkers too think I deserve to be hurt or killed by the cops. You know, I have not broken the law. Excuse me. And fake Darnell, like the cops and other so-called authorities and the fake public offender and all them, they refused to look at the screenshots of fake Darnell admitting that he lied about you know, saying that I broke into the library or tried to. He needs to stop doing that. That's not funny. And then he admitted that he's doing that to me because I won't sell my soul to the devil. That's not funny. You don't play with someone's soul like that. What the hell is wrong with you? And you don't even get that much money. You're doing all this for crumbs. You're doing too much for crumbs. Stalking someone and harassing them, and you sold your soul to the devil for 75,000 a year, and that's something to be proud of. You're not. That's not even a millionaire. And I thought about that on Friday when the fake cop wrongfully arrested me. I think his name was Officer B. Dalton or J. Dalton. I don't remember. His last name is Dalton of the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Department. And he did not read me my Miranda rights. Yeah, I don't think he read me my Miranda rights. He just, excuse me, proceeded to wrongfully start handcuffing me and be rough handle me and be aggressive for nothing. I mean, if I would have wanted to break into any library, I would have just stayed inside the library and not left out. Why would I need to walk out of the library before the library closes and then try to break in? I would be in hotel rooms, and when I'm live streaming, fake Darnell was harassing me and threatened. He would be like, well, I'm going to call the cops and tell them that you're holding a child hostage with a gun and raping them in the next room or something like that, I mean, that you're holding a child hostage in the hotel room and raping them. Like, you're a sick motherfucker. And then he was trying to brag and talk about that he can't wait for the new public defender for the next, case that I have to fight in court. I mean, I cannot believe that I'm sitting here feeling helpless on how to put him into a stop. For him to stop doing this. Because if other people can be caught swatting, then he shouldn't be able to get to be invincible. They illegally swat me and make false prank calls and think it's funny, and then bully me about how they're gonna make sure that I better go to court. So that's why I say that when I'm on the streets and when I'm like, it's easier for him to illegally swat me when I'm on the streets. Like, it was April 17th when I wonder how did he know that I was still at the homeless sleep spot? Because I stayed later than I had been. Excuse me, because I would leave between 3 o'clock and 4:30 if it's too cold. And, if I had to be on the streets and couldn't get hotel, I would leave in between 3 o'clock and 4:30 in the morning to try to, the Starbucks thing it didn't work out. So I would just take the Algiers bus and go across the river and go to whatever 24-hour place that would be open. Excuse me. You know, and eat and charge my phone and try to stay warm until it's time for the libraries to open, and then take the bus to go to the library. But it's getting warmer, so I guess I could stick around, until a couple of hours later. So, like April 17th, the day I got my tooth pulled, earlier that morning, it was about 5:30 in the morning, and he illegally swatted me by excuse me, prank calling NOPD, and lied and said that there was a dead body in the river. And I'm afraid that fake Darnell, he's followed through with a lot of other threats. He's trying to get me killed. And I don't even know if he's gonna plant or hire someone to actually throw me in the river for real. And they don't want me in hotels because, it's harder for them to pull off their fake illegal swatting pranks. And then when they do illegally find out where I'm at, they try to get me wrongfully kicked out of and banned from hotels, calling up hotels, telling lies on me and stuff. Something's got to be done. I'm not even trying to do wrong or break the law, and multiple of the stalkers trying to make like I'm just this horrible and bad criminal person. They all have narcissistic personality disorder themselves, and trying to falsely call me a mental nutcase when it's them with the mental problem. When they're trying to cover up their whatever satanic rituals and evil and wickedness that they do. And anything good or positive that I do or try to do, they want to turn it so-called negative. So if I were to do something like give another homeless person, share half of my meal with another homeless person, they would, lie and say, oh, Candy poisons food and gives it to other homeless. And they do it just to be malicious. Excuse me. And it's like, I wouldn't even think of to do something like that. And it's like, I felt bad the other day. That person, I think her name was Ava E. Ava E. I think her name was. I felt bad because I felt like I'm wondering if I lashed out at her on Saturday morning in my live stream. I got mad and I blocked her and I lashed out and went off on her. And I'm like, oh great, you're another narcissistic abuser that want to forcefully order me to stay off the internet, and you want to victim blame me just like everybody else, But but then I guess I then she said, because she said something about stay off the internet and go move somewhere else, move out of state and go move to a different location and stay off the internet or whatever. And something else she said, and then she's like, oh, it's for your safety. And I got mad and lashed out. I was already sleep deprived and angry, and I was like, well, what, you trying to victim blame me? So, and when you're targeted, you can keep a low profile. The stalkers still know where you're at all times. The gang stalking fake satanic cult network. They know where you're at all times. And it's creepy, it's frightening. You can keep a low profile and say nothing on the internet. And how they know what you're doing in person? Excuse me. So you, when you're targeted, the gang stalkers always they know everything about you. You can keep a low profile. You don't have to quote unquote tell all your business or do oversharing. They still know everything with their illegal fake surveillance cult program. So I saw a quick YouTube video about a man who was illegally swatted 47 times, and what happened was he said something on Twitter. Well, now they call it X, but I guess Twitter. He said something about that a comedian, that he didn't think such and such comedian was funny. That he didn't think that this comedian's jokes were funny. And then he got illegally swatted like at least 47 times. Excuse me. And then when he spoke out, he spoke out, against the cyber stalkers, and he described them to be like a cyber stalking cult or something like that. He described them to be something like a cyber stalking. He used that word cult. He said they're a cyber stalking cult. And then in the comments, there were a whole bunch of people lying on him and lying and saying that he illegally swatted himself as a way to boost his book sales, because they said he was an author. And I'm like, well, yeah, they're lying on him the same way they do me. Why would he illegally swat himself? And then they were lying and saying that he threatened to kill his unborn baby. And I don't think that's true either. They were telling all kinds of lies on him. But I think that anyone who gets swatted is a targeted individual, especially if it's happening repeatedly. Well, I don't know about all cases, but if you're targeted and even if you're not being illegally swatted, if you're targeted, if they do frame you or set you up for illegal to be wrongfully arrested and thrown in jail some kind of way, even if it's not illegally swatting, if it's someone frame you or set you up, that's why being targeted, you can't trust to be close to anyone, because they might have a fake TI perp, excuse me, that might set you up to come live by their house and then set you up to get in trouble with something criminal, and then the fake TI perp, the perp pretending to be targeted, will get like a level up in the occult. And sometimes they'll front like they're Christian and targeted while they're secretly devil worshippers. Excuse me. So for dinner, I had Wingstop, and they I guess they must have ran out of the buy one get one free brownies. Yeah. So I just had the chicken sandwich, fries, and a drink, and I didn't have lunch. Excuse me, but that was buy one get one free. But I was, well, I'm not gonna say what else. And like you know, I'm not gonna something else. I'm just not gonna say it. But but yeah, I could not eat. I mean, I forced myself to eat all everything. But some other stuff I'm just gonna keep to myself and not publicly say it. But I don't know what solution could be done. Um, you know, I hope that from the criminal charge from the arrest from back in January and also from this past Friday, I hope those criminal charges all will be dropped. So it's like they're making it like as if, oh, even though you were innocent and falsely accused because someone made a prank call on you, oh, it turned into a crime when you refused to identify yourself. Now, like, well, I thought that if you're not guilty of a crime, then you didn't have to identify yourself. I thought you had to identify yourself if you are guilty. If you did do it, you know. But for me to, as a natural defense or automatic reflex, put my hands up and be like, but wait a minute. They'll say, oh, you're resisting arrest. And they won't let me explain, that, wait, I'm legally allowed to be here. I'm being illegally swatted. And, so this is ruining my mental health and making me more depressed and causing me more anxiety, and I'm still feeling really traumatized, and I'm scared to have to go back on the streets. And fake Darnell threatened me that whenever he sees me back on the bench again, that he's gonna illegally swat me again. I'm really terrified. Excuse me. And I think back in February, I heard that the fake TI perp Ronald Soriano illegally swatted me as well. Prank called and lied on me. And he pretends to be Christian and targeted, but he's a reptilian satanic perp. I don't know him and I never did him anything, and he's been stalking and harassing and bullying me and spreading lies and gossiping about me for no reason at all. And if they illegally swat you and then pretend like they trying to help you on how to beat your case, how to beat your criminal case, and trying to just so that they can say your Candy's stupid and she don't know nothing, she don't know the law, she don't know this, she don't know that. Excuse me. So, and then they illegally swat me, and then they say, good, I hope to throw, I hope, and they lie on me, and they say, good, I hope the judge throws the book at your ass. How's a whole bunch of guys teaming up in gang stalking and bullying a lone black disabled female? I've seen comments where Ronald would cry and talk about him being gang stalked was too unbearable. But I've never seen any videos of him actually being followed and stalked and harassed, or footage of himself being actually gang stalked. I got too much proof and still being falsely called a liar and a fake TI and a fraud. I mean, you see my evidence and still call me fake and then bully and harass me. You know, excuse me, they have people in the so-called TI community that have blocked me on social media unprovoked for no reason, or they ignore me profusely and refuse to reach out or talk to me, and I've never done anything offensive to them. Or they'll unfollow me for no reason. You know, and it really hurts that it's hardly anybody in the TI community that I can reach out to or talk to. And I'm forced to have to just deal with this targeting on my own with hardly much of any support, or for hardly anybody to believe me. Or you never know who's gonna turn against you and betray you and show themselves as part of the cult. Even in person, when you're talking to someone and you think they're one of your supporters, or you think they're nice to you or so-called cool with you or whatever, and then smile on your face and talk to you, and then pull a perp move like a big fuck you, but while smiling in your face. It happened last night. So, yeah. Dang, so like, it looks like tomorrow night supposed to be the last night of the cold weather in the 60s. And then it looks like it's supposed to start warming up in the 70s and stuff. Excuse me. I'm feeling scared and nervous about having to be back on the streets tomorrow night, and if fake Darnell might illegally swap me again. And he even bragged, the stalking cult bragged about how they're gonna keep doing it every day. So it looks like it might be more than one stalker that keep illegally swatting me and making false calls. Even Anthony threatened to illegally swat me one time and was bragging about it. He even bragged, he wanted to beg for a fake GoFundMe to get the funds down to come to New Orleans and start, bullying me. And he was bragging about how he was going to come and sit on the bench that I sit on and everything. And bragging about blasting Aaliyah's music and all. Like, why would y'all do this to me? Anthony is upset that I figured him out as a fake TI perp. And I heard his sister is a witch. And he might be a warlock. Oh, I forgot who. Someone had said that they found out that, or that they could tell that Anthony is a warlock as well. So just like when I got illegally swatted, and then I got the paperwork to show proof that I am legally allowed to be at the library after hours to use the Wi-Fi. I mean, like outside the building. The fake TI perp Ronald Soriano, he tried to say that people were like, Amanda was trying to say that it was Ronald Soriano that called the police on me, or that illegally swatted me on February 15th. And then so they did that for no reason. Well, how do the cops not know the law that it's legal for someone to still be on the library property? If the cops on site say it's okay, but the regular city cops, they made it like as if they're just blindly going off of whatever fake Darnell says. When fake Darnell prank called the library the next day and lied and said that he owns the property, and then the cops believed him prank calling from out of state, and he probably prank calling and laughing, And then the cops try to tell me and make me feel extra unwelcome by saying the owner says he does not want you there. And I'm like, I'm trying to tell you, it's not any owners of the freaking library. Our taxes pay for this public library. Y'all don't need to be police officers if this is the case. I mean, if I've been standing on library property after hours to use the Wi-Fi, at multiple different cities and states, and that never happened. But so anybody can prank call the police and tell any lie, and you will get arrested for it, and then you get more fake criminal charges for trying to defend your innocence. And people being like, just shut up and comply. Or then be like, oh, you're just making things worse if you try to run your mouth and say something. But I'm very depressed. Like, as I said, I had so many writing goals. And this is all setting me back. Because they're trying to ruin and destroy my life. Fake Darnell, he admitted that he is, he admitted that he's keep wrongfully putting me in jail because I won't sell my soul. And he admitted that this is an outlet so he could sex traffic me to a brothel in Shreveport. And then they talk about after you serve your jail sentence, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. And then more other stalkers are using witchcraft and talk about their tarot cards. And then they're talking about more and more arrests are coming soon. And more jail time is coming soon. And more jail and more prison. And they're making death threats at me. It's really horrifying. It's multiple people. It's more than just fake Darnell. Or fake Darnisha. It's more than just the fake Aquarian Doris perp. It's more than fake Ronald Soriano, fake T.I. perp Ronald Soriano, who cries about how the targeting is so unbearable. I had to try to talk Anthony out of threatening suicide back in 2020. And Anthony said he didn't know whether he wanted to commit suicide or turn into a perp. And he chose the latter. I have zero intentions on ever wanting to become a perp. Just like I have zero intentions and don't miss the fake IDMR cult and I never want to go back. And I don't miss psych medication and the fake mental health system, and I never want to go back. And now the fake public offender and all them, and now the people at the jail, everybody act like they want to fake question my mental health. Like this time around, they were heavy on demanding an answer for my so-called mental health. They're really trying something. Like, I don't know if they're trying to force me back into the mental health system against my will. I mean, recently the stalkers were talking about trying to get me put in a mental health group home or get adult protective services for me, or so they want me to live somewhere where I will have a handler to control me and abuse me. I didn't deserve for this to happen to me, y'all. All I was trying to do was ask for help for a more hotel out of the rain. And the points for the free night didn't kick in until the next day, which was yesterday. And then someone, I don't know if they helped me in the middle of the night or was it this morning that someone helped me and I was able to get another night. and I'm scheduled to have to be back on the streets tomorrow. I feel dreadful and afraid. I wish I could have help with more nights. But the stalkers are preventing me from, like, the more you illegally swap me and have me wrongfully arrested and taken to jail, you're hindering and holding back my opportunities for housing and jobs. And that's on false criminal records. If you want me with a job, stop. If you want me with a job and a house, stop illegally swatting me. But no, they brag about how they want to keep me forced homeless. And they think it's funny. Some of them pretend to be fake eternally angry at me. And talk about that I'm an insufferable human being and a parasite. Well, but then they stalk and attack me everywhere they can rather than avoiding me. My body feels weak and I'm really tired. Excuse me. Like, I haven't been able to being able to think properly or think straight or think clearly, you know. So yesterday, it was during dinner yesterday evening or yesterday afternoon, because I ate a little earlier. During dinner, I excuse me. During dinner, I had my whole body started to cramp up on me, mainly my right side and then other parts of my body. And after I fell asleep, like when I woke up this morning, my body no more cramping. But then my toe and my left foot tried to lock up on me earlier. I think it was after my shower. And I think for a brief moment they mildly tried to squeeze my organs with the directed energy weapons, you know. But I'm exhausted and tired of all these fake court dates, tired of undeserved jail in court. And this is for harassment. They're trying to take me out, y'all. They're doing it. They're trying to speed it up to have me attempt. I mean, they're trying to attempt to murder me. And then they will put things in a predicament to make it look like as if the police kill me, it's my own fault. Or if anyone else kills me, it's my own fault and I'm a fool and I'm stupid and I deserve it. Or that I should have kept my mouth shut. Abusive narcs always bully you and want you to learn your lesson from this and keep your mouth shut. And they think they're the smartest people in the world. You know, I am really exhausted and tired from all these constant attacks. And the moment I try to get myself a little bit of rest and peace, I get harassed and falsely accused of being just lazy. Talking about all you do is eat and sleep. How is that possible if you had me on the streets for 6 or 7 days, and then the moment I finally get some rest and try to recover my body, then I get attacked and called lazy and talking about, oh, all you do is eat and sleep all day. What could I go do if it's freaking raining? If I got a hotel room, if it was raining, you know? But, and the stalkers being like, well, you say you're sick and tired of homelessness, but why won't you get a job? Well, you keep illegally swatting me and putting false criminal records on me that's hindering me. When I do get a job, you call up the job and tell lies to get me wrongfully fired and think that's funny. Or when I do get a job, they be like, watch, Candy's gonna get fired, or she won't last long on the job, or her boss is not gonna take her shit, and this and that, or whatever, you know. They are killing me and they're trying to murder me off. Fake Darnell right now. Fake Darnisha right now needs to go to prison for attempted murder. And I hate that they try to say that illegal swatting is a misdemeanor. How is it a misdemeanor crime if your objective is to have that victim killed? You're hoping you can try to get that person killed. And I heard that there's a such thing as a criminal charge for misuse of 911. So I didn't realize it was called swatting when fake Darnell illegally swatted me on the biological mom Frances' birthday back in 2023 before I left Pensacola. I didn't know that was called swatting. He illegally swatted me and sent the police to come and harass me. Y'all, I don't know. I don't know how I can live anymore, y'all. They're making it impossible for me to live, for me to be wrongfully banned from so many places that almost everywhere I go is trespassing. Almost everywhere I go is criminal trespassing. That's another kind of prison right there, or you know. And if I go to a different city and state and stay off the internet, that will not stop the gang stalking and harassment. If it ain't online stalkers, it's also in-person stalkers. But the cult knows where the target is at all times. I hate to not be able to relax or be at peace when I have to be in constant fear and all day, every day, like eternal, never-ending panic attacks. This is no way to live, to be forced to have to live, y'all. And it's not funny. So if I do have to be on the streets tomorrow, they said it's supposed to rain. During the day at least, but I don't think so at night. But, you know, I'm really terrified and scared. But, I mean, I do feel like a burden, you know, having to ask for hotel. But, you know, what could I mean, I'm being blocked from getting permanent housing. And if I do, they gang stalk me out of my home and threaten me with death. Or try to kill me. They're finding all kinds of ways to prevent me from permanent housing and employment. And I try to earn a living through my short stories. They block that too. And dealing with the sleep deprivation and directed energy attacks, it's difficult to try to be able to think clearly, you know, think my thoughts out more clearly with my short stories and stuff, you know. And I hate when people try to treat me like a retarded child about my short stories and then try to play psychological games, you know. And then they pretend to be fake, not interested, you know, in my short stories and stuff. Or they'll pretend like they're interested but really not. So what time is it? 9:29. It's almost 9:30. Well, I'm gonna get off here. Whatever y'all can spare to help me out with, the stalkers got me wrongfully, you know, they try to block me from asking for help for donations for a vehicle to live and work in. If I had access to a vehicle, an insurance, a way to get insurance or whatever, that can open up the door to multiple more job opportunities. But I love y'all. I'm gonna get off here. I'll see y'all tomorrow.